Good morning, Radical Metal viewers. It's your buddy, Jesse. Jesse? I wanted to do an introduction for Andrew Spann. I don't always do introductions, but wanted to for him. I wanted to mention that after we'd interviewed John Balsamo, JB from Palaces, that I got a lot of pings from a lot of people that I didn't know who wanted to talk music, talk their bands, and I was a little cynical. Normally when people come on the show, it's because I'm a fan and I know them and usually love them. And so I was a little cynical, and I'm so glad that I got over that, because I met Andrew and we had a great talk, a nice short and sweet talk that you're about to see. And he's got a album coming out. His band is Low Before the Breeze. JB's also drumming in that band, is rad in it. And they're releasing an EP, It Kindly Bent Around Me. We'll put the links into the description. But I apologize, Andrew, for being cynical to begin with, because you're charming and talented and thoughtful, and another example of this character that I'm seeing coming out of Atlanta, which is challenging me in so many ways. Meeting you folks in Atlanta, you kind heavy metal rockers in Atlanta, are making me question my own character and morality, because you're so gosh darn great. And Andrew, you're no exception, and I really enjoyed our talk. I'm glad I know you, and I love the music. And I have to apologize for one more thing. For the life of me that morning, I could not freaking pronounce the names of his songs. I don't know what it was. I didn't have enough coffee, and I couldn't remember the name of his band. I mean, all the things you don't want to do as a guy who interviews musicians. So Andrew, I am sorry about that. But I hope that you get something out of this. I certainly got a lot out of talking to you. I appreciate you. I hope we're friends now. And I wish you all the luck with this sick and exceptional and radical new EP, It Kindly Bends Around Me. Kindly Bends Around Me. I'm doing it again, Andrew. All right. Well, hope you enjoy, and we'll all talk soon. Bye. Hey, we are here with Andrew Spann from, Low Before the Breeze. Low Before the Breeze. Gosh, man, I've been practicing it all day. I don't know why it's hard for me. Low Before the Breeze, which is such a cool name.
It's a mouthful for sure.
But it's really kind of a compelling, interesting name. Can you give me some background on where that came from?
Yeah, absolutely. So me and JB, our drummer, kind of met in 2021, and we started working on some stuff. And when it came time to name the band, we were kind of stumped. And around that time, I was just really into this hip hop group called Clipping. They're sort of like they mix like noise and avant-garde with traditional hip hop structures. And just the phrase "Low Before the Breeze" is mentioned in one of their songs.
Oh, cool.
And it was sort of like, I want to do this off the wall kind of heavy project. Let's pull from this kind of off the wall heavy hip hop music. And that's how that happened.
Oh, that's cool. It's definitely a cool name. I really do like it. I'm ashamed and embarrassed that I couldn't remember Breeze.
It's okay.
I'll have to live with that, I guess. And you guys, did you have an album come out yesterday or Thursday or Friday?
So we have something coming out on the 30th. So that's coming up. That's this Friday. We have a new EP, 3 new songs dropping. Very excited about it.
Now, the songs you sent me, are they 3 in that list of? I think you sent me 6.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, we released a split release with a band called Less Dead. It was called That Which Still Aches. Less Dead have unfortunately broken up in the time since then, and we've had a little bit of demand for those 3 songs. So rather than like repressing tapes that of a Dead release, we're including those 3 as sort of like bonus tracks on this new release.
Oh, okay. And which ones are they?
So the first 3 songs, Apophenia, Millenarian, and Esplame, are new.
Nice.
Yeah, the
I
back.
gotta tell you, those are my favorite from the six you sent me. Actually, I really like the sixth one too, but I forget the name.
I believe 6 on there is Visions of Eating Dirt.
That's a great name. I didn't catch that. I caught Apophenia and Millenarian.
Millenarian, yeah.
Oh my gosh, am I struggling today or what? It's your fault. We're trying to push this ahead. I didn't have enough time to do research, but I wanted to try to honor your release.
I appreciate you accommodating.
But I really, man, I was actually talking. We listened to you guys. We went out to lunch, and then we're listening to you guys on the way back. I was listening to you yesterday, and then earlier this morning, and my wife said, she's like, "Well, your show's called Radical Metal." I'm like, "You're right. This is radical metal, man."
Thank you.
I mean, it's really, it's definitely, and maybe it's because I haven't been exposed to it as much. You're talking to a guy that's, um, I'm like your cliche metalhead, big four, 80s thrash. But I'm getting more exposure by meeting more bands from Atlanta. But I gotta tell you, I mean, I talked to Tim Jones from Leaf Blower yesterday.
Great guy.
I've talked, yeah, amazing dude. And Yosemite and Black, and I've seen Drifter, and kind of know, I know Justin a little bit, or met him, I should say. And I've been loving all this music that I'm being exposed to, even though it's quite different than what I'm used to or certainly grew up on. But
Sure.
I've got to tell you, Low Before the Breeze is the most unique out of all of them, I would say. That doesn't mean it's better or worse. It's just definitely different, man.
Oh, that's sort of my mission statement with the band is, I can't say if what we do is good. I don't know if everyone's gonna like it, but I want to be kind of weird.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna mess it up again. It's not Apollonia.
It's Apophenia.
That gave me some feels for sure.
Oh, cool.
And I thought it was I really like that stuff. I think the most of, well, the 6 songs that I've heard, the ones that kind of they all take you on kind of a journey, but that one and the last one, gosh, are so dynamic with, going from heavy to some even clean guitars. And did I hear keyboard in there?
Yeah, slowly incorporating some synth and keys and stuff like that. Since we've kind of grown a little bit member wise, and it allows me to kind of do a little more stuff. Used to just be a 3-piece, now we're a 4. So I'm trying to mix it in where I can for sure.
Oh, that's cool. And are you playing guitar and doing synthesizers then, and maybe some other stuff, or what?
Yeah, I'm guitar, vocals.
Gotcha. I was looking at your Facebook page too. You have a post recently about, what were you saying? You're yelling at somebody, yelling at your dog.
Let's see. There she
is.
Yeah.
But you're on stage.
Yeah. I have 3 dogs, 3 very sweet dogs. There was certainly like a live shot with a joke about yelling at one of them for getting in the trash or something.
I didn't know that. I thought just because of the picture, I just assumed your guitar. So vocalist too. I asked this to Tim as well. How do you maintain the strength in your voice with that kind of singing, man?
It's got to be, you got to be doing it always. The thing that I do that is fully unhinged is I'm a big runner. I practice the vocals while I run.
Yeah.
Nice. So no one's ever going to rob me because I'm running down the street screaming. But you got to be at practice. You got to be doing them at practice, or else when showtime comes, you're going to blow your voice.
Tell me this. That makes me think of, Atlanta. It's a party town, man. It's I mean, the couple times I've been, we got down, and I don't know. Do you know Tom Cheshire?
I do know Tom, just a little bit, but I know him.
I just got back in Puerto Rico, man. We threw down, and I've now in detox mode for the last 4 days, which feels good. But as a runner, I mean, do you even drink or anything like that, or is that just not your thing?
Yeah, I'll have a couple of drinks a year. Um, just not my vice. I'm more of an ice cream guy. But
Yeah.
yeah, just not my thing all the way.
Yeah, that's awesome though. And well, tell me this: how do you do it? Because I think you know, I've had Jay Crash on the show too, and he quit drinking.
Yeah.
And I admire him so much for that because, you know, I mean, the culture, I don't see, you know, I don't feel like it's a peer pressure type culture. I feel like just a lot of people are doing it, you know, whether it's drinking or maybe even other stuff, you know what I mean? So how do you, what's your secret in staying authentic and staying in the music scene and but not being a non-drinker?
Well, you know, first of all, you do hurt people's feelings when you don't drink. Sometimes people they take it that you're looking down on them, and you just got to kind of say like, man, you know, like I don't feel great when I drink. I'm happy to hang with you. I'm happy to have a good time, but gives me the old stomach ache, and I'm trying to have fun.
Yeah.
But it helps. Our other guitar player is actually like a fully straight edge individual, so
Well, that's good.
band.
You guys could be partners in crime.
Yeah. But so I mean, I have no moral objection to drinking or anything. And like I said, I'll get drunk a couple times a year. It's just not what I'm really doing socially.
Yeah, for me it's I'm either all in or all out. Like I'm either probably drinking too much. But as soon as I only want to have fun. And as soon as it stops being fun, then I stop it. I think I reached that point after hanging out with Tom in Puerto Rico. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then I'll go like 80 days and not drink at all, and actually get kind of high on the sobriety, if you will,
Sure.
which is I find also very fun because it's very productive and all that good stuff. But I'm always fascinated by folks that don't give in to maybe the vibe of a party scene. I have fun a lot if I go out and don't drink, and I forget that sometimes that I do. So most of the time, I have more fun. But still fascinated, especially with Atlanta, which kind of has a reputation, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Party City.
yeah, Party City. But the cool thing about, from my limited experience in Atlanta, man, I feel like everybody's so good to each other, especially in the heavy music scene. Is
Uh,
that your experience too?
yeah, I feel like especially sort of this niche of bands that we found ourselves in, it feels like a community in a way that I never really had experienced before playing music. I feel like everyone is everyone's favorite band, if that makes sense. You know, like
Yeah,
to a show, it's like, oh wow, you know, 60% of the crowd are these people who shows that I go to, or these friends who I see at the practice space, or you know, they're in bands with my other band members, or you know, it's just sort of I don't know. It's a really tight knit group, and I think it's cool.
I gotta tell you, I think that's why I'm drawn to it. I didn't expect for this to happen, but this show is turning into a little bit of a proxy kind of show for the Atlanta scene, and I'm quite honored to maybe have a part in that. And I didn't expect it, but it's something that I think I've always, or maybe back in the day, like yearned for. I wanted that. You know, I was in a band. I lived in LA. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like you guys have it. You know, it was competitive, and I talked to JV about it a little bit.
Mhm.
That's why I'm drawn to it, and why we're talking today, probably
Yeah,
because it's so positive.
definitely. Yeah, it's everyone is just so friendly. It's insane. It's not what I expected from the outside looking in. You know, I was a fan of a lot of bands that I play with now, that I get to share the stage with back when I was a little less active in music. So it's like, oh, I mean, all these guys are incredibly kind. You know, all these guys, all these girls, all these folks. Everyone's so welcoming.
Uh, well, tell me a little bit more about the themes behind "Low Before the Breeze." What tends, what kind of subject matter do you lean towards? I'm assuming you write the lyrics too.
Yeah, I do. That's kind of my favorite part. Sort of my way to be a hack poet. I, you know, it's sort of taken a while to find my own voice with that, but what uh what my big life experiences with are sort of like a freedom from religious trauma would be kind
Mm-hmm.
of where a lot of it goes. I never want to be the Satan metal band. I don't believe in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a let's examine some common anxieties that are shared among people who have sort of been led by fear tactics into religion. Let's
Mm-hmm.
let's discuss that out in the light, and then let's talk about how we're going to get better from it.
Oh
That's
wow.
that's largely what I deal with. And there's personal stuff. Had some life stuff happen over the last couple of years, sick family members, ending relationships, the normal, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, at least the songs you've heard are dealing with that sort of religious freedom.
Hey, let's dive into that for a minute, shall we?
Sure.
What is your did you grow up in a some kind of church? I did. I grew up in Presbyterian, but can certainly relate to the fear and guilt and shame associated with being brought up in a pretty strict church going Christian family.
Yeah, so my parents weren't as much the issue. I have a great relationship with my folks, but where I grew up, the public school systems were struggling with the credibility issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I did go to a religious school. I grew up in a Protestant Christian Baptist based school, and it was just a very fear tactic based upbringing in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the biggest thing, and it kind of comes up in our music a lot, is I was really really convinced of like a rapture coming, being left behind,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of was like this big anxious thing for me for a lot of my life. Like friend doesn't pick up the phone, and you're like, oh, I'm fucked. It happened, and I'm left here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting.
no, that's interesting. Well, fear of hell. Well, it's interesting too that I feel like a lot of people have similar in bands have similar thoughts and kind of jump right to maybe the satanic thing
Right.
because that is they're like I'm going the total opposite extreme. I mean I don't know if that's true. I'm kind of getting that feeling. I'm getting some of the vibes from some of the bands down in Atlanta. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's it's kind of an very extreme rebellion. I was been thinking about this a lot lately. Like I think I still find so much meaning in the Bible. And but I don't go to church. I don't like what humans did to it.
Right. Yeah.
Because as humans, we're gonna screw it up. Whatever it is, we're gonna screw it up. And I feel like we screwed it up. And so I don't want the human part of it. I want the personal part of it.
Yeah, what I try, because it's the thing, family members will get upset that believe in it, and what I just try to tell everyone is, I'm really comfortable with my own spiritual situation. It just doesn't look like yours, and it's not Christian. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not the church. It's not Baptist. It's sort of your own connection with the world.
Yeah. Right on. Well, that's a great message to convey through your art, man.
Oh, thank you.
So, what are you guys gonna do for what's the 30th? That's in a couple days. That's in a week.
Friday coming up.
Friday. So, what are you gonna do for is you call it a release? What do you call it?
Yeah, we'll call it release day. We have a show at the Earl in Atlanta. We're playing with our good friends in Apostle.
Nice.
We're playing with Foxwound, and we're playing with Merc. Um, Merc is a band out of, I think, North Carolina. It could be South Carolina. They're on tour. Foxwound and Apostle are Atlanta bands. Just celebrating the release. In about 2 weeks, we go on a little baby tour with Apostle. So this is like a nice little kickoff for that.
Nice. And their Apostles, Jay Crash sent me a record from Apostle. So they're termed as Hate City, right?
They are correct.
Yeah. Are you guys, do you flirt with that at all, being on that label, or any discussion, or is it another label, or is it independent?
So for now, we are independent. Jay's a friend for sure. Terminus Hate Cities, we're close with those guys. Would love to put something out with them someday. Right now, we're still kind of in the building phase, but
Yeah.
we'll get there to putting out stuff through a label one day.
And how are the people digging it?
So far, good reception. We've kept everything kind of close to our chest with this release, sending it to folks like yourself to get kind of interview situations lined up. But I think it's a big step up for us from material we had in the past. So folks seem happy.
That's great. Well, it definitely is unique, but not unique in a way where it's not accessible. It's like I said, I keep coming back to that first song and the last song. They definitely tugged on some strings that were, both my wife and I were like, okay, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. I almost want to say, and I hate it when people compare necessarily, and I'm not trying to, and it's really a subtle comparison, but it's I got similar feelings. You ever listen to Sunny Day Real Estate?
Yeah, of course.
I kind of felt a little bit like I was feeling similar things like when I listened to them, which is really a positive, a compliment.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy compliment. I love Sunny Day. I love all of the, all that 90s, early 2000s emo, alternative rock stuff. Any of that. That's sort of what I grew up on.
And then the second song, again, I'm going to butcher it because that's I guess the theme today, butchering your song names. Millernia.
Yeah, I get it screwed up all the time. It's a millenarian.
Millenarians. I'm so sorry, man.
Oh,
I think that's just going to be the theme. I'm not going to fight it. But that definitely heard some of the. You have like a preacher in the background, right?
Yeah.
Television.
I found like an old 1950s sermon on hell, fire and brimstone kind of sermon, and chopped it up.
Yeah.
Kind of have that playing while I sing.
Yeah. Back to the theme of fighting against it, or it's not fighting against it, but
it's kind of exposing like how, is it really normal for some guy to sit there and yell at a group of people about how everyone's going to go to hell if they don't do this thing that he says? Like, just sort of calling attention to like, hey, are we sure this is normal? Is this what should be considered the good and pure thing?
Well, are you guys going to make a record?
Yeah, we're in the process of doing so right now. These 3 songs are sort of, I don't want to use the phrase B-sides, but they're sort of just stuff that we had done before we started writing for the record. We're about halfway done with it now, but we still wanted to just put these out there because we're proud of them. Kind of like hey, everybody, remember we're still around. But we're hoping to finish up the record in November and shop it around to labels and see what happens from there.
Nice. And a shout out to JB, the drumming, man. It's so precise. His drumming is insane to me. It's otherworldly.
He is. I tell him all the time, and he will have none of it. But he is my favorite drummer, just of any drummer I've ever seen. I tell everyone that my band does have the best drummer.
Yeah, when I talked to him, I was like, your drumming checks all my boxes, man.
He's
everything I want. Yeah, everything I want in a drummer, you got it. And of course, it embarrassed him.
Very humble guy.
He's so humble. Yeah,
he will tell you he sucks, and I'm like, man, you are my favorite drummer.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And you guys practice at? Did you say you practice at Ember City?
Yeah. We share space with a few Atlanta bands. Lost Hours practices there. Palaces, Popeyes. We're all shoved in the same room.
Nice. And you ever run into the Mastodon guys?
I should. Oh yeah, you see them.
Mastodon.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. You'll see them slinking around the halls. You try to not to oogle at all the guys too much. Try and play it cool. First few times it was a little shocking. Second time I ever went up there with JB, he managed to lock us out of the practice space. He locked his keys in the room.
Yeah.
Well, Bill from Mastodon to let us in. And when I told him I was starstruck, dude came in, you know, he picked up my guitar when he came in there. He's like, "Oh, I used to have one of these." And I was just sitting there. I was 26 years old, and I was, oh my God, oh my God. But now you treat them like they're normal folks, and you know, you just be excited to get the exposure.
Yeah, no, that's great. JB has promised to give me a tour of Ember City one of these days. I'm terrible around them. Like I do, because they're my favorite band of all time. And I've done every time they're in town, I do the VIP meet and greet, and I'm always just a total nerd, weirdo, probably around them. I don't know how to act around people I admire. I just don't.
It's hard. It's hard.
I try, and it just makes it worse because, you know, they're down to earth dudes, right? They're
Nice.
pretty nice and normal, right?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living when you're not playing in the band?
Oh man, the very exciting world of multifamily construction. Yeah, I work for a small contractor that we build apartments.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'll help keep you in shape too, right?
Yeah, I'm more of in the office kind of thing, but
okay.
But yeah, it's a fun gig.
And what's your since we're talking about running, do you is keeping in shape pretty important to you, and is it a pretty strict regiment?
Oh yeah, man. Full band members give me shit all the time. I basically have a full-blown eating disorder. I gotta work out. I'm in the gym. I'm running miles and miles. I'm lifting. That's part of it for sure.
Nice. So this channel, it's radical metal. So we talk about heavy metal, but it's that's a play off radical middle, or talking about kind of politics.
Okay.
Where, you know, there's a radical right, a radical left. What about a radical middle? It's kind of something I am passionate about. And then I have another thing called radical metal, METTLE, meaning, you know, I guess sacrifices you make in order to improve as a person, which to me is health.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm not like the perfect specimen of health, I'm smoking a cigar right now, but it is important to me. And so when I'm not in party mode, going to the gym, and I do things like cold plunge and that kind of stuff. And I'd like to talk about that stuff too. In fact, later tonight, I have another interview with my transcendental meditation teacher, who I don't know if you know anything about that. I started doing that like 4 years ago, but that will be part of that health piece of this, the 3-prong approach to this channel.
That's very cool. That's really cool. Now, I don't know a lot about that. I mean, I've dabbled with some meditation stuff on my own, but never like quite so formal as to have an instructor.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that I just felt like I felt almost like called to do it, which sounds like weird to say, but I couldn't seem to resist it, and went to a teacher 4 years ago, and then I've been doing it ever since. I'm not consistent all the time, but but that kind of the whole thing, you know, body, soul, and mind, you know, trying to get all that stuff connected, and how you do it and what are the tricks. I like talking about that kind of stuff too. So that's why I'm interested in kind of like what you do for your, you know, because it sounds like being healthy is important to you.
Yeah, for sure. I grew up a fat kid, so I had to work really hard to get in shape, and I try and stay there.
Yeah, right on. Hey, well, tell me this. What have I not asked you that you wish I would have asked you?
Let's see. So talked about, we got the record coming out on the 30th. Name of the record is It Kindly Bent Around Me. That's 3 new songs, 3 old songs put together.
Nice.
Let's see. I don't know what you haven't asked. We talked band. I want to take a second and shout out our 2 other members.
Yeah.
Kind of lead guitar player, John Kemp. Me and him have been, he's my best friend in the world. We've been in bands together in the past. He kind of stepped in about a year ago and really took a lot off my hands. It was great for me. Being the only guitar player and the vocalist and everything was maybe more than I was capable of at the time. So having John come in and just sort of fill out the sound, play the more complicated parts so that I can do more complicated vocals. That's been huge. We have a new bass player named Dennis, who is he's a few years younger than me, and he is crazy talented and crazy fun. And I think the four of us together, I think it's a cool little unit. I'm really excited for the momentum we're building right now.
Low Before the Breeze.
Yes, sir.
With Andrew Spann. Shout out to your band members. John, let's see if I got it. John, Dennis, JB, who did I miss?
That's it.
That's it.
Me, yeah.
And Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey man, it's been great talking to you. If you have links, please send them to me to whenever you get them, and then once we post it, we'll make sure to put it in the video and put it in the description so people know where to get it and where to listen to it.
That'd be great.
But it's really nice to meet you, man, and I appreciate you reaching out, and maybe we'll get to hang out one of these days. I want to try to get to Atlanta a couple times a year.
Yeah,
so I'll let you know next time I'm in town.
For sure, come on by. I'll help out with that tour of Ember City. Me and JB will show you around.
Yeah, it'd be great, and maybe I'll be in the same boat I'm in now. I'll have a Perrier. With you, and maybe I'll hang out with you more if I'm feeling too tempted with the other rabble rousers.
Sounds good to me, man. You're welcome anytime.
Hey, Andrew, nice to meet you, bro. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too. See ya.